I never thought my relationship would end over a dinner party, but that's what exactly happened. Last month, my girlfriend of 2 years and I have been doing great, or at least I thought we were. She is 25, I'm 24, and we met during our final year of college. Everything changed after one evening when she went out with her friends. It started when my cousin Rebecca, who's also friends with my girlfriend, was invited to this fancy reunion dinner. A bunch of their old college friends were getting together since one of them had just moved back from Europe. They planned this big night-out dinner first, then hanging out at someone's place afterward. There were about 10 of them going, all part of their old study group. I was at home that evening working on some projects. Rebecca and my girlfriend left together around 6 p.m. Since Rebecca was driving, they were all meeting at this upscale restaurant downtown, and Rebecca said she'd drop my girlfriend home. Afterward, I expected them to be out late, maybe until 2 a.m. or so. But Rebecca came back early around 9:30 p.m., and something was clearly wrong. She stormed into the house, barely said hello, and went straight to her room. My aunt asked if everything was okay, but Rebecca just said she was tired and didn't feel well. I thought it was strange. Rebecca's usually really cheerful and calm. I asked if she dropped my girlfriend home, but she just muttered, "She can get a taxi," and shut her door. The next day, Rebecca was still in a bad mood. I tried asking what happened, but she kept saying it was nothing. Finally, on Sunday afternoon, she pulled me aside and said, "Look, something happened at dinner that you need to know about." My first thought was that my girlfriend had cheated on me, but what Rebecca told me was different, and in some ways worse, according to her. They'd all gone to dinner, had a good time, then went back to someone's house. They tried watching a movie, but got bored and started drinking and talking instead. That's when things went downhill. Rebecca said my girlfriend had a few drinks and started talking about our private life. She told everyone how I had never been with anyone before her, and made jokes about my inexperience. She went into embarrassing details about our intimate moments and made fun of certain things about my body that I would always felt self-conscious about. When Rebecca told me all this, I felt like I would have been punched in the stomach. These were things I would only shared with my girlfriend, things I trusted her with. Finding out she turned them into jokes for her friends' entertainment hurt more than I can explain. I asked Rebecca why she seemed so angry about it. After all, it was my privacy being invaded, not hers. She just said she couldn't stand listening to someone she considered a friend being so disrespectful about her own cousin. I spent the next day feeling absolutely horrible. I kept thinking about all the times I had opened up to my girlfriend, all the vulnerable moments we shared. She'd been laughing about them with her friends this whole time. I felt betrayed, embarrassed, and completely lost about what to do next. Part of me wanted to confront her immediately, but another part wanted to pretend I had never heard about it. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe this is just what people do when they're with their friends. But deep down, I knew it wasn't right. The question was, what was I going to do about it? I ended up taking my anger out on Rebecca, first, which I regret deeply. I kept pestering her for more details, asking her to repeat exactly what she said, and eventually blamed her for telling me it all. I would have been happier not knowing. I shouted at her. She tried to be patient at first, but after I kept pushing, she finally snapped. "You know what? I told you because I care about you, you idiot," she yelled back. She clearly has no respect for you, but fine, go ahead and defend her. You deserve each other. She slammed her door in my face and blasted music, so she wouldn't have to hear me anymore. I felt terrible here. The one person who had stood up for me, I was treating her like the enemy I knew. I had to talk to my girlfriend about it. We met for lunch the next day, and I spent the whole day trying to find the right moment to bring it up. She seemed so normal, so happy to see me. It made me even more confusing. We went back to my place afterward because she wanted to avoid some family gathering at her house. Finally, while we were sitting in the living room, I brought it up. I heard about some things you said about me at the dinner the other night. I stared at her. Her reaction caught me off guard. That's what has been bothering you. Really, she laughed. She acted like I was being ridiculous for even caring. When I told her how hurt I was, she gave this half-hearted apology but immediately followed it with, "It's not a big deal. All girls talk about this stuff with their friends. You are being too sensitive." Then she figured out, Rebecca had told me and everything got worse. I should have known she had run her mouth. She said I never liked having her around. Anyway, she always acts like she's better than everyone else. That made me angry. "Don't talk about my cousin that way," I said, but she wouldn't stop. She kept going on about how Rebecca was just trying to cause drama, how none of this would have happened if Rebecca had just kept quiet. She completely missed the point that none of this would have happened if she hadn't betrayed my trust in the first place. Things really exploded. When Rebecca came downstairs, she started to say something to me, but stopped when she saw my girlfriend. The tension in the room was unbearable. Then my girlfriend started attacking Rebecca, saying she had no right to interfere in our relationship and calling her a terrible friend. I tried to stop it, but my girlfriend wouldn't let up. Rebecca, who's usually really tough, started tearing up and turned to me. "Why are not you defending me?" she asked. "Why are you letting her talk to me like this?" That's when I knew what I had to do. I told my girlfriend we needed to talk, and I ended things right there. I didn't go into all the reasons. I just said things weren't working out and we should stop seeing each other. She seemed shocked and hurt. But I couldn't be with someone who would disrespect both me and my family like that. After my girlfriend left, I want to find Rebecca. She was sitting on her bed with her headphones on, staring. I sat down next to her and apologized for everything. For lashing out at her earlier, for not defending her, for my girlfriend's behavior. She just shrugged and said maybe her ex-friend was right, that she should learn to keep her mouth shut and stop trying to fix everything. I told her she did the right thing. She looked out for me like family should, and I was grateful for that. When I mentioned I had broken up with my girlfriend, she just nodded and said it was probably for the best a few days. Later I noticed something was wrong with Rebecca. She was just lounging around a house in old clothes, watching TV, and eating junk food. She looked like she hadn't showered in days. When I asked what was up, she told me something that shocked me. All her friends, the entire group she used to hang out with, had cut her off. They removed her from their social media, stopped responding to her messages, and officially uninvited her from their weekly dinner gatherings. They were angry that she broken girl code by telling me what happened that night. It hit me hard. Rebecca had lost all her close friends just because she had chosen to stand up for me. These are people she had known for years, friends she hung out with every week, and they dropped her without a second thought, just because she told me the truth about what my girlfriend said. She tried to act like it didn't bother her, but I could tell it did. It was Friday night, usually her night out with the girls, and instead she was sitting at home alone. When me mentioned they were probably all at their usual restaurant having fun without her, I made a decision. "Get dressed," I told her. "We're going out." She thought I was joking at first, but I was serious. I took her to this really fancy new place that had just opened up across town. It was expensive. The bill came to almost $300, but seeing her smile again made it worth every penny. During dinner, we talked about everything that had happened. I still felt ashamed about how I had initially reacted, blaming her instead of my girlfriend, but Rebecca just waved it off. "You're my cousin," she said. "You matter more than some friend group that would drop me over something like this." That night really helped put things in perspective for me. Yes, breaking up with my girlfriend hurt, but as days passed, I became more certain. I had made the right choice. Someone who could betray my trust and then attack my family for telling me the truth wasn't someone I wanted to be with. The whole experience taught me a lot about loyalty and what really matters. Sometimes the people you think are closest to you can let you down. while family, even the ones you sometimes take for granted, will surprise you with how much they care. Rebecca lost her whole social circle just to be honest with me, and I'll never forget that. I still run into my ex-girlfriend sometimes, and it is awkward, but I don't regret my decision. As for Rebecca, she started making new friends through her work people who actually appreciate her honesty and loyalty. We still go out to dinner sometimes, just the two of us, and those nights are way better than any date I ever had with my ex. Ever had a moment where you had to choose loyalty over love? Share your story below in the comments.